What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another Victory Monday, a shirts and hats Victory Monday edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's episode number 497. KB and Pitts coming at you. The host with the most, the people's champ. We're going to get into everything NFL, but we're obviously going to be talking about the Birds clinching the 1 seed, clinching the NFC East, and the NFC playoffs go through the link. We're also going to dive into the Philadelphia Phillies' big trade this weekend with the Detroit Tigers, and well, obviously I have Pitt's power rankings and whatever else comes to mind, throughout the show. We'll discuss it, we'll talk it, and you can join the conversation when you follow us on the socials at UndergroundPHI on Twitter, Instagram. You can follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at Pitsy35 on Instagram. And you can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on the IGs. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow as we are in year 5, looking to bring this thing to the gosh darn moon, hitting those charts, getting those reviews. And obviously, when we hit, review milestones and stuff, we'll be reading the reviews on the show. We've done it once. We'll do it again, but we got to hit those milestones. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of every single podcast, live streams, original content, card openings. We're doing it all on the YouTube. Currently at 352 YouTube subscribers. Need to get to 1K. Help us get to 1,000. Subscribe. So if you love the Philadelphia Eagles, subscribe. And make sure you guys go get your merch as well. PHI Apparel Company. They're our official merch providers, and they are the best in the game. They've got shirts, and they've got official Underground Sports Philadelphia shirts and hoodies. New hoodie drop just happened this past Thursday. It's officially out there. We're going to officially roll them out on Monday morning, so you'll see everything, but they are sweet. I can't wait.
They are nice. They are wicked nice. They're wicked nice, dude.
They're super, super nice, man. And you guys can go to phiapparel.co, use code Underground, you get 10% off a brand new Underground Sports Philadelphia hoodie. These are never-before-seen designs. We've never had these out at any of our old merch partners or anything. These are brand new, first edition hoodies, first drop. So if you get them, you're part of the first drop to have these hoodies. phiapparel.co, use code Underground. Get ready for the Eagles playoffs, rocking your merch. It's the best and most effective and direct way to support us here by getting your merch. So go get your merch, phiapparel.co. Pitts, the Birds. The Birds are going to the playoffs. The Philadelphia Eagles clinched the 1 seed. They're going to host the whole NFC shebang. It's all going through the link. They won the division. They're getting shirts and hats. I'm going to go down to the Eagles Pro Shop tomorrow on my lunch break, after I'm done laying down slabs of concrete in the cold, working my ass off. And I'm going to go down to the Pro Shop and, Delco dads everywhere. We're going to go get our Philadelphia Eagles 2022 NFC East Championship merch, and then we're going to go to the playoffs, and we're going to run the fucking table, and we're going to Arizona, okay?
You laying slabs of concrete. You work at Staples.
No, Delco dads everywhere. The only job we got, we work harder than anybody. Only person that works harder than us is Jalen Hurts, because that guy is a dude, okay? He's out there. Who else works harder than us a little bit because he kind of gets down and dirty like we do? That boy Hassan Reddick. He's out there grinding. He should win the NFC Defensive Player of the Year, just like Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP. Piss. The Eagles went 14-1 with Jalen Hurts starting at quarterback this year. Okay, that Gardner Minshew, he lost those other 2 games. That guy, he was shaky and flaky. He cost us a couple games. We could have clinched the division. We could have clinched the NFC #1 seed weeks ago. But we had to start Gardner Minshew. Only Gardner I stand is Jim Gardner. Best action news anchor to ever come through this city ever. Shout out Jimmy Gardner.
I'm happy to see you happy, because while you get to enjoy your Eagles in a well-deserved playoff #1 seed, all that jazz, I'm watching a meaningless game of my Detroit Lions, and on top of that, I got to watch the Patriots get spanked by the Bills after a week after the Damar Hamlin stuff. So there was no chance in hell, to quote my boy Vinny Mac, that they were winning that game, and that meant that their playoff hopes were off. So for the time, I am we're go Birds.
It's go Birds always and twice on Sundays.
Dude, it's go Birds. Like, they're so good to watch. They're such a complete football team. You watch them play. Like, I watched that A.J. Brown catch today. I forget what it was like.
Hey, you talking about a downtown A.J. Brown?
Downtown A.J. Brown downfield. And I just was chanting, Batman! Like,
that boy was flying down there like he was in the Batmobile.
Oh, my God. Dude, it was incredible. Like,
A.J. Brown was out there looking like Christian Bale ready to fight the Joker.
Like, yeah. And
he had those Joker cleats on, too. That Nickelodeon slime green. You see those cleats A.J. was wearing?
Davis Webb is a joker. That man, first off, all-time performance for the Giants to say, we're going to sit Daniel Jones to rest our mediocre golden boy.
Do you want to joke?
And we're going to bring in not only the king of mediocrity, but the prophet of it in Davis Webb. Like, the most, like, we're going to give a guy a paycheck to not give Daniel Jones one. And, like, it didn't matter if they won or lost. Like, at all.
I'm gonna give you
incredible.
I'm gonna give you the ultimate satisfaction here.
I need it after the loss I've seen today.
Some former Lion on former Lion action happened in the Eagles-Giants game.
Oh, okay, I like this.
And you're gonna laugh even harder when I say this. So Kenny Golladay finally showed up and caught a touchdown on Darius Slay. Yeah. Do you want to laugh? That touchdown cost the Giants $72 million.
No way.
That is the first touchdown Kenny Golladay has caught in a Giants uniform. And he's probably going to get cut after the year.
That's just
a $72 million touchdown.
Dude, talk about, I remember when he hit free agency, and I was like, they either need to lock him up now and sign him, or he's going to get the bag because he deserves it. And boy, was I wrong. That dude has
got the bag.
One of the worst, got the bag, but one of the worst work ethics I've ever seen. Did you see the video of him at training camp, like jogging through drills? I have more energy going to make a sandwich upstairs when I get hungry than he did in drills. Like, you fucking kidding me? If I was making $72 million, I would give it my absolute all to show a piss poor effort or performance out there in the field. And you're going to sit here, Kenny Golladay, catch one touchdown against arguably, I would say, one of the best corners in the league right now, in the most absurd catch possible. Like, this wasn't like he beat him and like wide open, whatever, like circus type catch that cost the team $72 million. Absolutely. Just, I died laughing watching that. Honestly, I just couldn't stop laughing.
I loved it.
Oh my God. So funny.
The Eagles get the much-needed dub that they've been waiting 3 weeks for. Jalen Hurts looked perfectly fine, in my opinion. Obviously, the offensive line was going to look a little shaky still with no Lane Johnson out there, but we'll see him in the postseason.
Yeah.
Eagles' best record in franchise history to cap off this season. 14 wins is the most wins in Eagles history. The previous record was tied with 2004 and 2017 when they won 13 games in both of those seasons. And Pitts, what did they do in both of those seasons?
They played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Correct. They went to the Super Bowl. So they broke a record there. They broke the single-season franchise record for points scored in a season. And I don't know if they got it, but at one point during the broadcast, I don't know if they got any more sacks on Davis Webb. The Eagles were 2 sacks away from tying the all-time NFL record for sacks in a season by a single team. If it stood where they were, the Eagles finished the year with 70 sacks as a team.
That's incredible. Like that
Which, to put it in perspective, last year the Eagles finished 31st in sacks with 29 as a team. 70 this year. For a team that doesn't really blitz either.
Yeah, so as the Eagles fan here, what is the big difference that caused this just massive jumping?
Talent.
Talent.
They got more talent. You look at the defensive line last year, Brandon Graham got injured early, was out. Brandon Graham comes, there's an argument to be had. Brandon Graham could be the comeback player of the year this year. Will he be? I don't know, because I don't know who else is up for it. But Brandon Graham tore his Achilles last year early in the year. Comes back and has 11 and a half sacks this year off a torn Achilles at age 34.
That is incredible.
That's unbelievable. That's a new career high. First time in his career he's ever had double-digit sacks. I hope he wins the Walter Payton Man of the Year award because he deserves to have that patch on his jersey for as long as he plays as well. You look at, Jordan Davis coming in being such a game changer in the run game, stopping the run. You go out when Jordan Davis gets hurt and you bring in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, who have been very, very good. For what they are at this stage of their career, they've been fantastic. Josh Sweat had a career year before getting hurt against the Saints, but he will be back for the postseason. Fletcher Cox had a resurgent year this year because talent around him helped. Javon Hargrave was electric this year. Milton Williams had a great, another year in this defensive scheme. Mm-hmm. And then when you bring in a guy like Hassan Reddick in free agency, and you put talent around Hassan Reddick, which is something he did not have really in Carolina or Arizona, you see what Hassan Reddick's able to do. You got to double team guys like a Brandon Graham or a Josh Sweat or, somebody coming through the middle like a Javon Hargrave or Fletcher Cox that leaves lanes open for Hassan Reddick to come up with 16 or 17 sacks this year. There's an argument behind Nick Bosa that Hassan Reddick's the defensive player of the year. It's crazy how phenomenal he was this year, and I think he will continue to be. Signing Kaiser White was big in free agency. TJ Edwards had a great year this year in between both of those guys. Mm-hmm. And when you have an elite secondary like the Eagles have had pretty much all year long with Darius Slay, James Bradbury coming in free agency because the Giants didn't want to pay him, trading for CJ Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Epps had a career year, and then Avonte Maddox, when he was on the field and not injured, has been stellar. And Reed Blankenship stepping up as an undrafted free agent for CJ Gardner-Johnson was phenomenal. So I think just the exorbitant amounts of talent on this defense, there was no excuses anymore for Jonathan Gannon to be like, oh, I don't have the players, I don't have the talent. You had the talent. And the talent speaks for itself and went out and performed this year. And I think that's going to be a big reason that allegedly, according to Benjamin Albright on Twitter, friend of the program, he thinks Jonathan Gannon could be heading to the Houston Texans as their next head coach.
Yeah, I don't agree with the Texans letting Lovie Smith go. I don't agree with them.
I'm the same boat as you. I just think Lovie was brought in by the Texans as kind of a culture reset. He's a big culture guy, in my opinion, for the type of coach that he is. Experienced, veteran guy, has done so much in his coaching career and playing career when he was younger, in high school. He's a high school football state champion. He knows the game. Mm-hmm. I think he was brought there to reset the culture post number 4 leaving there and going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll make it out of this year. Again, it's not even really his fault. There's barely any talent on that team. So that's something they need to start addressing is, bringing in talent and figuring out how to, lure in free agents. And you're in arguably the easiest division to win.
Yeah, no,
in the entire NFL.
As of now, the AFC South is the wide open division in football.
Like, that is the biggest, just turnstile. Like, anybody could win that division now. I mean, the Jaguars are clearly above and away. We'll get to Dougie P as well.
Yeah.
They're the best team in that division, hands down, right now. But, the Texans, I could see Gannon going to Houston and being the head coach there. And, that's something that the Eagles are going to have to prepare for, especially, with both of their coordinators being 2 top 10 candidates for head coaching positions. Yeah. But we'll get to that when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and we don't have to worry about anything because we won a Super Bowl.
Look at the Rams.
Yeah, just win, baby. And then the same thing, when you bring up Jonathan Gannon, what switched? I think the same thing happened on the offense. You brought in more talent. The offensive line, another year together. That offensive line is... all bias aside, they are the best offensive line in football.
The synergy with that team is absolutely remarkable with that line. I mean,
they are the best.
To record a Christmas album and have it be that fire.
The fact that Jeff Stoutland, shout out Stoutland University, has been able to do the Lord's work. And I am not religious, but he has done the offensive Lord's work of turning Jordan Mailata into an all-pro left tackle.
I mean, he's
a guy who was a 7th-round flyer pick who played rugby, who they thought was going to be a defensive end. They said, no, let's switch to the offensive side of the ball. And has become a franchise left tackle and has followed in the footsteps of a future Hall of Famer in Jason Peters. That's unbelievable.
It is remarkable. It really is remarkable.
And when you have an offensive line like that, it lets Miles Sanders have a career year. It lets Boston Scott torch the New York Giants always and forever. And it lets Kenneth Gainwell.
He's going to get today.
Great. Dude, it's free money betting Boston Scott anytime touchdown against the Giants.
It really is. It's unbelievable.
He has 9 or 10 career touchdowns against the Giants in his entire NFL career. It's crazy.
That's so insane. That's a wild stat.
And then you have Devontae Smith last year, another year in this offense. Quez Watkins, another year in this offense and not having to be the number 2 receiver. And then you bring in one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. In your opinion, all bias aside, A.J. Brown is a top blank wide receiver.
10.
You can make the argument he's a top 5.
Yeah, you could. I don't want to.
Right now, you could say A.J. Brown is the 4th best receiver in the NFL behind D-Hop, behind Cooper Kupp,
Jamar Chase,
Justin Jefferson. And then I'd say A.J. is 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
For how explosive A.J. Brown can be, he gets downfield with that big frame, too. Be a guy, myself, who in my youth, for a year and a half, got the opportunity to root for Terrell Owens. A.J. Brown reminds me so much of T.O.
There's a lot, yeah. I will say
big frame, but he's fast. He's quick. It's very T.O. reminiscent.
He uses body well.
Yes.
He uses body well when he's catching passes and positioning himself. I have noticed that.
He's just so fun to watch. And, there's some wide receivers who have come out of college that are A.J. Brown's age this year. A.J.'s been in the league since, 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
Come on. That's the similar thing like Stetson Bennett, even though he's my guy, because same birthday, last name.
Yeah.
He's Lamar Jackson's younger than him. And Lamar's been in the league since 2018.
It's experience.
It's experience, man.
It's absolutely experience when you're at this point, and that's what's going to help.
Comment down below on YouTube who you think the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL are. Because we could be forgetting somebody. You could put Mike Evans in there. But I think I would take A.J. Brown.
He's been too consistent over since every year with 1,000 yards. Wait, let me check that. Like, but for instance, like that's consistency. That's exactly what you want out of a number one receiver is at
Oh, I'm
least
sorry, we did forget somebody, Devontae Adams. But it's
Devontae
because the
Adams.
Raiders have been so forgettable. But even in a forgettable year,
So
so
there
yeah,
you go, top 10.
I think he's top 7. AJ's top 7
All right. I
because Mike
have
Evans,
up here,
Devontae.
Boston Scott has 16 career touchdowns. 10 of them are against the Giants.
All hail the New York Giants. That's amazing.
That is just such an incredible stat. Oh my god.
That's just free money, baby. Yeah, I mean, everybody on Twitter complaining about how the Eagles' offense looked and like this, that, and third. They were not going to give away anything that they're going to do in the playoffs. They were just trying to get by, win the game, however they could, and they did that. They won the game. That's all that mattered. It doesn't matter how you win. There's no style points in the NFL. It's not like college football where you got to show off for a committee. You win, you're locking it up. So, the Eagles are the 1 seed. They win the NFC East. Which Pitts, can you tell me the last time the NFC East has had a repeat back-to-back winner?
2012.
Keep going back, my brother.
2006.
Keep going back.
Back? 1998.
You can come a little forward.
2001.
Come a little forward. We're getting closer.
2003.
2003 and 2004 was the last time the NFC East had a repeat winner, which was the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously, in the Andy Reid heyday.
Then his heyday, yeah.
Every single year following that has been a different winner in the NFC East.
That's absolutely insane to me. Like, as someone whose team dominated their division for basically an eternity, that would just, the amount of talent or lack thereof, it doesn't matter. It's just chaos in that division every year.
Ready for it?
Volumes to every team in that division.
2004 was the Philadelphia Eagles. 2005 was the Giants. 2006 was the Eagles. 2007 was the Cowboys. 2008 was the Giants. 2009 was the Cowboys. 2010 was the Eagles. 2011 was the Giants. 2012 was Washington. Can you tell me how Washington won the division in 2012?
They beat the Cowboys, right?
It's because RG3 was their quarterback.
RG3, the man, the myth, the legend.
2013 was the Eagles. 2014 was Dallas. 2015 was Washington. 2016 was Dallas. 2017 was the Eagles. 2018 was Dallas. 2019 was the Eagles. 2020 was Washington. 2021 was Dallas. And 2022, the Philadelphia Eagles. 18 consecutive years that the defending NFC East champion did not repeat the following year. I have a hot take. It is January 8th, 2023 as we record this.
Okay.
2022 and 2023 is going to break the streak. The Eagles are going to win the division next year.
That's not like a bold prediction.
It's tough. It's been 18 years.
It has been 18 years.
Numbers never lie.
Numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard. But absolutely insanity. It's
crazy.
that long. But if there's any team to do it, I don't see the Cowboys doing it next year with their inability to find a coach Jerry Jones is satisfied with.
As LaShawn McCoy once said on national TV, Dak is ass.
He really is ass. I'm
Dak
not gonna
is ass.
I can't believe that I traded for him in fantasy and had to give up Jared Goff. I'm pissed about that. It just the fact that Mike McCarthy is, I would say, a fine coach, and there's just rumors he should be fired, and it's really
does McCarthy keep his job if the Cowboys lose to the Bucs, which I think they're going to lose to the Bucs?
No, I don't think he does. Honestly, I really don't. And
how many draft picks do you think Jerry Jones is willing to throw at the Saints for Sean Payton?
We're getting into Ditka category. I think Jerry Jones, being the dementia Dumbo he is, I'm going to say he's going to give a first or second rounder every year for 5 years. But it's worth it.
I love that.
Sean Payton, he's a cowboy through and through, and he just sees the vision, and Zeke is gonna run the ball. And it's like we traded Zeke, and then that's when Jerry Jones passes out with shock. Like that's how the Cowboys story ends.
Oh, I love
And
it.
then they
I
have
love
to
it.
sign Tony Pollard because
He's a
what
free
else?
agent at the end of this year, I think.
Exactly. They have
He's
to
gonna get
sign
the bag. Somebody's gonna pay him buku bucks.
But like, how much should they pay him? In all honesty, how much should Tony Pollard realistically get?
If you're signing him to be the guy, I would say 36 million,
For how long?
3 years, with a fourth year option maybe.
Okay. How old?
It
He's
might be
like
more. It might be
25?
more though. It might he's probably gonna garner at least 10 million a year, which is crazy for a running back. But
It is. That's why, like, we've seen. If you, this is what I don't understand is there's teams that have won the Super Bowl that you can go back and check, and if you look at every team that's won the Super Bowl over the past, I'll go 10 years, just for easy. Name me their star running back. Who was their running back? It's a no name for a reason.
here we go. Let's put in comparison some contracts. This is from the Draft Network. What they think Pollard's contract could be.
All right. I want to look up. Hold on. I want to look up Super Bowl winners because I'm testing my theory with this. The Rams.
So they said it's difficult to envision Pollard earning more than $7.5 million annually on a 2 to 3 year extension.
Okay.
So I was kind of in the right space,
Okay. So for
maybe
instance,
4 years, $8 million a year, so 32 million.
all right, that's fair. But all right, the last we'll go to, 2000. Whatever.
Okay, here it goes. They say it should pace Pollard on track for a 3 year extension worth something in the neighborhood of $19.5 million. So $6.5 million annually.
That's what I would say. But that's perfect.
But I think that's from the Cowboys. They're saying if they sign him to an extension.
And that's not okay.
But somebody's gonna give him crazy money, like a Rams or a desperate team like the Texans.
If Dameon Pierce though, you don't need that.
But it's the Texans. They sign dumb contracts all the time. Maybe Chicago if they let David Montgomery go. Trying to think of other teams.
The last big names I see from past Super Bowl winners that had a superstar running back.
The Eagles, J.J.
All right, get out of here, Delco, dude.
He was a star at the time. That was a
did-
crazy trade.
Yeah, it was.
He was also on a rookie contract, though.
Exactly my point. Though Edgerrin James for the Colts
Okay.
in 2006 would be the superstar.
It was Marshawn Lynch.
Okay. But what did they do with Marshawn Lynch when they had the chance to have their superstar running back?
Right. But I'm saying, if you're talking the last team with a superstar running back that won a Super Bowl, it's Marshawn Lynch, I think.
It's just bananas. It's bananas to me how running backs get paid so much money, and in the grand scheme of things, to build a Super Bowl caliber team, it means diddly squat. Go spend that money on a pass rusher or a linebacker. Give a little bit more of that bonus or money to the quarterback so he stays and is happy, but you're not overpaying him. Give it to a safety for God. Give it to someone who needs to make a difference every time they step on that field.
So, Tampa obviously signed Leonard Fournette when he got cut.
Yep.
Who was? Yeah, I mean Marshawn in 2014.
Was that a big contract though?
I forget what his contract was for the time, probably.
He was older though at that time.
Because remember, Marshawn was not originally a Seattle Seahawk.
Exactly.
He was drafted by the Bills, which talk about an
Man.
all-time like Bills Mafia player.
Oh my, that dude embodied Bills Mafia. He really did.
Yeah, I mean, I can't
There's
think
no
of anybody
reason.
else.
There's no reason to pay a running back more than $10 million a year. There's
Yeah.
not. If you want to give him 9 because he's like a Christian McCaffrey or
Right.
like a guy that can do that, like sure, but you cannot give a guy who I would say touches the ball 20 times a game. Quarterback touches it all the time. You know, he's pretty much your captain of the ship. Pay him the most. But then you have to think defense too. Who are the guys on defense that need to make an impact every play? It's a pass rusher and a linebacker. Like that's where you overspend your money. I might be
Yeah.
old school, but my way of thinking won 6 Super Bowls. So
Unless you're the Cowboys and you pay Zeke 6 years, $90 million.
yeah, and that's why they live in the fucking past. And are the Cowboys.
So the Eagles clinch the 1 seed. They have the bye round 1. And this is what the NFC playoff picture looks like as of this recording. This will potentially change, potentially not. Depends on what happens on Sunday Night Football. But the 1 seed is the Philadelphia Eagles. The 2 seed, San Francisco 49ers. They leapfrog the Vikings. The Vikings are the 3 seed. The Bucks are the 4 seed. Cowboys are the 5 seed. Giants are the 6 seed. Those are all firmly locked, entrenched. 7 seed is going to come down to the Packers and the Seahawks, just like everybody chalked it up to be back in August. Packers right now at a 68.9% chance, according to ESPN. Seattle at 31.1%. Packers win, they're in. Packers lose, Seattle's in. I don't know who I want to win that game or, win that 7 seed just yet, but this is how the matchups are going to look wild card weekend. It'll be the 7 seed at the 49ers. It'll be the Giants at the Vikings. And then the Cowboys at Tampa Bay.
I want the Bucks to
Humiliate.
legitimately annihilate the Cowboys.
Brady's playing his best ball right now, which is scary.
44 years old.
45. Man. 45. And 2
45.
zigzags. Baby, that's all he needs.
Well, he got nothing else. He literally said, fuck my wife, fuck my family. I'm going to dominate the sport of football for another half of my life. He's played the sport for his half of his life.
More than half now. Because days have gone by.
That is absolutely insanity. Like,
I want the Bucks to destroy Dallas, but then Brady lose all his powers again. Giselle, come take the powers back after they beat Dallas.
Or she shows up in the stands with her new boo.
Because it'll be because the Eagles will play the lowest seed remaining out of the bye week.
What seed are the Bucks? 6?
The 4 seed. Because they won their division.
Because they did win the division. That's right.
Giants are the 6 seed. Cowboys are the 5 seed. Packers or Seahawks will be the 7 seed.
If I'm you, I would want to play the Seahawks. I don't know how it's going to happen, though.
See, my thing is, we beat the Packers already this year, so it's like we know how to beat them.
And Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is...
In the playoffs, but they don't scare me. Like, if we can stop Aaron Jones, the Packers don't scare me. Granted, Rodgers is playing much better down the stretch here, but the Packers don't scare me, from a matchup perspective of Eagles-Packers. Seahawks is tough just because, did you see Geno also broke single-season passing record for the Seahawks as a franchise? He broke Russell Wilson's record for a single season in passing yards.
Bro, Geno Smith should get a key to the city of Seattle. I'm sorry, but
they ain't right back.
That man deserves all the praise because he is not that bad of a quarterback, but got the absolute
He's going to
worst.
win comeback player of the year, by the way.
There it is. That's your comeback player of the year. Remember you
It
saying
should be
earlier.
Brandon Graham, but it will be Geno Smith.
It will be Geno for other reasons that are not physical.
So yeah, that's the NFC playoff picture. Lions just miss out, but they'll be back. I think they are on the upswing.
Oh, they are. Thank God. But I mean, it was heartbreaking to have Baker Mayfield decide your season. I now can sympathize with Cleveland and Carolina fans because holy shit, that was the worst. Like I saw him. The worst part is I saw him like point downfield, and I go, oh no, and I see it
It was
go
like
up. I'm
the TikTok thing. Oh no.
like, oh no.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
okay,
Oh
it
no,
could,
no.
it could, okay. And then I see Van Jefferson, but like he slows down a
He
bit,
was wide open too.
wide open, and out of nowhere, just Quandre Diggs just snatches it, and
Former
I
Lion.
inaudibly yelled. And my parents like, "What are you yelling about?" I'm like, "The Lions." And my dad's like, "The Marianne, the Lions." Obviously,
Come on, Marianne.
fucking brutal, dude. Oh,
So that's your NFC playoff picture. Your AFC playoff picture looks like this: the 1 seed, Isaiah Pacheco and the Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to the boy. Almost had a 1,000-yard rushing season this year.
that would have been insane.
960 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns for Pop. The 2 seed, Buffalo Bills. The 3 seed, Cincinnati Bengals. The 4 seed, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 5 seed, Los Angeles Chargers. The 6 seed, Baltimore Ravens. And the 7 seed, the Miami Dolphins. They sneak in with just a dreck of a game against the Jets this afternoon.
That was fucking foul. That game. That was rancid.
11-6.
When have
was
you
the final.
ever seen a game end with the score 11?
I wonder if that was scoregami.
Oh, it might be. I think it should be too.
Scoregami. Let's see.
Should be score.
Let's see. I'm checking their Twitter right now. No free ads, but shout out Scoregami.
No, you got to give them a shout out. They're awesome.
Trying to find the game because it was earlier in the day.
It was a 1:00 game. It was a 1:00. That game was not on Red Zone. So we had another TV for Red
No
Zone.
Scoregami. It happened one time before. Can you guess when it happened, Pitts?
1980s.
Or more in the future.
Okay. Early 2000s.
The year 2000. January 23rd, 2000 was the last time that score happened and the only time that score happened.
Ooh, okay. All right.
So shout out Scoregami. But your AFC playoff picture is a little more complex, obviously, because of the Damar Hamlin situation. Mm-hmm. Glad to see he's doing a lot better. Was live tweeting the Bills game today, which was awesome. Shout out to Nyheim Hines for the 2 touchdowns returned. Dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable performance. That was like out of a movie, that first one.
Yeah, that like Josh Allen said in this press conference that it was spiritual, and I could not agree more. That was God having a sense of humor and being like, come on, dude, like you need to give this like first touchdown, first play they touch the ball, of course they're gonna score. Like that's how it should happen.
So this is what happens with the AFC because of it, because they canceled the Bengals and Bills game completely. If the AFC Championship game winds up being Chiefs-Bills, that game will be played at a neutral site. To be determined, I guess. I was talking about it tonight when I was at dinner, and my prediction for where it will be held is Atlanta.
Why Atlanta?
it's far enough away from both like fan bases to be quote unquote neutral, and it's a dome.
Okay, I like that reasoning. I do.
Relatively like new with stuff and everything. And it would be cool for the fans too if they are able to get, Bills and Chiefs fans there because of Arthur Blank being a kick-ass owner. All the
Yeah.
concessions and stuff being the cheap prices that they always are, no matter what the event is. It's like $2 for a hot dog, $2 for a soda, $4 for a beer. Like, they do great stuff.
You can't beat that. I wish. Is it true that they have a Chick-fil-A in their stadium?
I believe so. I think there's one in Hawks Stadium too. But obviously they play on.
But yeah, that's my point. Is that we're really like the football team has a Chick-fil-A in their stadium.
Yeah.
It's like that's the most Falcons thing I've ever heard.
I'm 90% sure, unless they like put a new chain in there that's like similar, but open on Sunday.
That would go so against their whatever. That's a whole other topic.
We got to talk about the AFC playoffs, and it's brought to you by our friends at Tomahawk Shades, because you can be styling and profiling just like Dougie P and the Jacksonville Jaguars, just like Isaiah Pacheco and the Kansas City Chiefs, just like Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. When you watch playoff football, go to TomahawkShades.com, guys. They've got sunglasses. They got blue light glasses. They've got your snow and ski goggles if you're going to the mountain to shred that fresh pow. Shred the gnar. TomahawkShades.com, and you guys can get 25% off your order at TomahawkShades.com with our code USP. That's code USP for 25% off at TomahawkShades.com. Stay styling and profiling all NFL playoffs long with Tomahawk Shades. Dougie P and the Jaguars, AFC South champions.
It's awesome. I'm so happy for him. I said at the beginning of the season, watch out for the Jaguars.
The plain fact that Doug Peterson, after a year off, comes into quite arguably one of the worst situations in football history with the Jacksonville Jaguars after the Urban Meyer debacle, and completely flips the culture around, completely switches it up, and makes it just a place where players want to be. They get clowned in free agency for signing Christian Kirk. Hey, I'd love to see everybody's receipts on that. What a season Buddy had in Jacksonville.
Hand up.
Doug Peterson is one of the best coaches modern NFL has ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because he was a former Eagles coach. Look at what he's done as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously wins a Super Bowl, but like culture-wise, like he had Carson Wentz at his best.
Yeah, that's the greatest unsolved mystery in NFL history.
He took teams to the postseason that other coaches would not have been able to do it. Goes into just maneuvers through a pandemic season when the quarterback becomes a flat-out diva after drafting Jalen Hurts, and maneuvers through that, becomes the scapegoat for Carson Wentz tanking his way out of Philadelphia. Takes a year off, goes down to Jacksonville in a horrific situation, and very similar. Doug Peterson was hired. People forget. Dougie P was hired in 2016 because the Eagles had just fired Chip Kelly.
Wait, I was trying to think to myself, who did Dougie P replace? And the fact that it's Chip Kelly is that's icing on the cake to this whole little soliloquy you got going. Keep going.
Chip's a great college coach and does well at the college level,
but
he's not a great NFL coach in my opinion. Dougie P goes down to Jacksonville after taking a year off, reassessing everything, and turns Trevor Lawrence into the quarterback at the NFL level that everybody expected him to be. Turns that offense into a well-oiled machine. Goes through the bumps and bruises of, just a team that's young and trying to find their way, and navigates it to a point where they are fighting for a division title in Week 18 and win the division in prime time, Saturday Night Football, which is the most Jags-Titans thing ever.
Back.
Like,
Playoff on the line, Saturday night on ESPN, Jags Titans. Like, that is the only thing it's missing is it wasn't on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it wasn't on Thursday.
That's incredible.
It was the most Jags-Titans, like, put it in the books. I mean, like, Doug Peterson has been a coach from 2016 to 2020 and now 2022 until whenever, his Jaguars tenure comes to a close. It's remarkable how good of a coach he is. And you know why? It's because players love him. He's a lovable coach. He's an inviting coach. He makes the environment around the team a place you want to be. And that's why Doug Peterson is so successful. He's not, the brain genius that Sean McVay is, that Mike McDaniel is, that Matt LaFleur is. He's just a lovable. I played in the NFL. I coached under Andy Reid. I learned from some of the best and have made this thing my own. I couldn't be happier for Doug Peterson, man.
I couldn't either. I'm so happy that the Jags, too, are getting this opportunity because the Jags had a chance at glory with the whole Blake Bortles team and Jalen Ram. Like, that team should still, like, low-key be together.
They were a kneel down away from playing the Eagles in the Super Bowl in 2017.
Unbelievable. And the fact that they're just getting back into the swing of things of being a contender, a threat in the AFC, a potential back-to-back division winner, all because Doug Peterson came in and changed the culture. Like, that speaks volume to how important a head coach that the players like is to a team's success. Because, yeah, Urban Meyer may know more when it comes to, like, X's and O's shit, but, like, you can't be going around kicking your kicker in the shin and calling him a dipshit.
No.
Like, you can't be...
There's so many examples. Like, Bill Belichick obviously has his culture and players will buy in. Andy Reid, another lovable coach, knows the game. I mean, I'll even point to the Giants this year. Brian Daboll's a fantastic coach.
You got to give credit where credit's due, honestly.
Like, fantastic. Nick Sirianni, another guy that the players just love to play for. Like, there's so many coaches in the NFL now that, like, they just make it fun. They make it what it's supposed to be.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, yes, another great example.
Came in where no one wanted that job after Patricia, and Dan Campbell said, fuck it, I'll take the challenge. And look where he's brought them. Yeah, they might not be in a playoff right now, but look at the future of this Lions team with Dan Campbell.
Look at Carolina with interim coach Steve Wilkes. You're telling me Steve Wilkes?
The fact the Panthers had a shot at making a playoff is remarkable.
You're telling me Steve Wilkes is not going to be a candidate for a head coaching job either in Carolina or elsewhere this offseason? You're kidding yourself. But then you look at the teams, that don't have that environment. Another coach that has that environment, they're just like in a rough year, is Mike Vrabel.
That's different. Yeah, Mike Vrabel is a guy that
a weird injury-laden year. Mike Tomlin, another one that unbelievable. Yeah. Congrats to Mike Tomlin on the record. 16 winning or 500, like never a losing season in 16 seasons as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unbelievable. But then you look at some coaches around the NFL. Mike McCarthy, like, does he give off that energy? Not really. Ron Rivera, not like he did in Carolina, I would say. Sean McVay now, not really. Cliff Kingsbury, no.
Cliff Kingsbury is the biggest fraud of a head coach I've seen since oh my God. He's just so bad and just not a leader. Like, he just gives off like cool guy vibes. Like, coach, what do we got to do here? Oh no, we're going to run this play. We'll figure it out. Like, dude,
there's coaches that like I would not want to play for.
No, I would not want to play for Cliff Kingsbury. Like, I want to be motivated. Also, Mike McCarthy, I'm going to say this comparison, and I hope you laugh, gives off big, young Sheldon dad vibes. Like, they're the same person to me.
That's fucking incredible.
He's just the same person.
That's
The
so
dad from Young
great.
Sheldon is just in this multiverse. It's Mike McCarthy.
That is so good. That is so good. Holy
Like, I
shit.
love the dad from Young Sheldon. I think of him as a father figure, but like, does he really know what the hip and young teens are really doing nowadays? No, like,
That's incredible.
it's just, I'm sorry, but like when I see him, I don't think NFL head coach. I think great neighbor dad that I would love to grab a beer with. Like, that's what you are. You know, we got to just have some self realization, self
That is
reflection.
so funny. That's a great comparison.
I'm very
Holy
good.
shit. That's so funny.
That was like, it's like a clear mental picture in my mind right now of
That
just
is
like
hilarious.
they're the same person to me.
It's it's the same picture.
It's the same picture.
Oh man. That's so funny. Um and I mean
So,
the Jaguars too, more on Dougie P here real quick too. Um can you guess the years the Jaguars have made the playoffs in their franchise history, Bits? They have made the playoffs a total of 7 times. This will be the 8th time in 2022-2023 that they make the playoffs.
okay. I'm gonna wait. How long have they been since 2000? I'm assuming.
It dates back past 2000.
Okay, so 98.
They did make it in 98. It goes back further than that too.
They were a team that long. Really? I didn't know that.
Mhm.
96.
96 was the first one. Yeah, they've been around since 95. That was their
Okay, so 96, 98, 02,
incorrect.
2000.
Incorrect.
Oh. Well, I know 2006 or 7.
2007 is correct.
2007 because they played the Pats. I know that. Well, I know 2017
Correct.
because that was Blake Bortles. 2015,
Incorrect.
2014.
Incorrect. 2017 was the only time in the 2010s that they made it.
Oh, 2009,
Incorrect.
2001.
Incorrect.
All right, what are they?
So the 7 times 1996, 1997, 1998, and 1999 were
They crushed
just a
in the
4
late
straight.
90s.
That was the Mark Brunell years, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then 2005, 2007, and 2017, and now 2022.
2005. That's what it was. David Garrard, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, in all of their postseason appearances, 2017 they played the Steelers and the Patriots. 2007 they played the Steelers and the Patriots. 2005 they played the Patriots. 1998 they played the Patriots. 1996 they played the Patriots.
This is gonna be the first year.
time they don't play the Steelers or the Patriots.
That's an underground fact. That is unbelievable.
The other teams the Jaguars have faced in their postseason history are the Buffalo Bills, who they will have a chance to potentially play, the Miami Dolphins, the Tennessee Titans, the New York Jets, and the Denver Broncos.
They played the Jets in the playoffs
in 1998.
That is like the
lost to
grossest
the Jets.
playoff game. They lost to the Jets in the playoffs. That is like I simmed a Madden career, and this is what my AFC looks like. Like that is just so.
They have
NFL media would not allow that on their televisions.
And they have one win all time against the Patriots in the playoffs, all the way back in 1998.
98? That was Pete Carroll's last year.
That was the one time that they beat the New England Patriots in the wild card round. Yep, every other time, it has resulted in a loss.
Or no, Parcells. Excuse me, Parcells.
Parcells, yeah.
It was Parcells' year. Because Pete Carroll left after 96. I wasn't born then. I just go from what I've learned in videos.
You were born then. You just weren't cognizant then.
Well, I was being.
That was a Bledsoe year.
Yeah, I was being pawned off like a zoo animal to different family members. Look at our little accident.
It was Pete Carroll. It was Pete Carroll. You were correct. It was Pete Carroll.
Dude, see, I'm a wizard. Like, I'm a Boston sports wizard. That's another name to add.
That was a Pete Carroll year. Yeah. So, can you guess who the winningest coach in Jaguars history is? It will be Doug Peterson one day. I can almost assure
Tom
that.
Coughlin.
Yep. Can you guess Tom Coughlin's record as Jaguars head coach?
How many years did he coach?
I'm not sure on that. Let me see.
Because I don't want to say like an absurd number and then it'd be like, oh, it was like 5.
He was with the Jaguars from 95 to 02, so 7 years.
It's decent. It's decent. I'm gonna go. I want to say like 76 and 42.
68 and 60.
Okay,
Doug Peterson is going to squash that.
Squash that, dude. That is like mediocre.
Can you guess the Jags' all-time leading scorer as well? Last bit on the Jags here. Shout out Dougie P. Go get some ice cream.
Leading scorer in the Jags
leading
history?
Scorer all time.
I want to say MJD.
Incorrect.
Is it Brunell?
Uh-uh.
It's a kicker, isn't it?
It's for the brand.
Oh, wow. What's his name? Oh.
Royks Raggy! It's Ross Roby! Josh Scobie.
Josh Scobie.
Josh Scobie Doby Doo.
Josh Scobie being the leading scorer in Jaguars history is that just says everything you need to know.
Ruby Roo! 1020. Royks Raggy! Like Zoink Scoop, we gotta get out of here! That was every Jaguars player when Urban Meyer was the coach. 1,022 points for Josh Scobie in his Jaguars career.
Good for him.
Shout out Dougie P. The playoff picture pretty much set. But before we continue, make sure you guys go check out our friends at Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia. They're going to be part of our Phillies season-long tailgates, our parking lot tailgate podcast that we're going to be doing. Also, halftime score of Lions and Packers is quite nice. Hashtag 6-9. You guys can use the all-new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You can also get Big Kenny's at the Wells Fargo Center now. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Got to be 21 or older to do so, and of course, please drink responsibly. Pitts, your second home of Detroit. They made a trade with Philadelphia in the MLBs.
Oh, what we doing? Do you want to do power rankings first?
Oh, yeah. Duh.
We'll
be back. Right. Timeout. Flag on the play. False start. KB. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down. It's Pat Pitts' power rankings brought to you by our friends at Trophy Smack. Guys, fantasy playoffs. I know it was a little dicey with everything that happened in week 17, but I'm sure you figured it out. And now you got to get your trophies and your bling set. Trophy Smack is the place to upgrade your fantasy smack talk all year round. They've got trophies, they've got belts, they've got rings, they've got metal wall art. Go get your stuff. And I'm sure for everybody out there too that may not be into sports, I'm sure you got like Survivor fantasy leagues like I do. I'm sure you got Bachelor and Bachelorette fantasy leagues. You can get stuff for that as well because you can customize it all. Anything. So go to trophysmack.com/underground and start upgrading your fantasy smack talk today. That's trophysmack.com/underground. Trophysmack.com/underground. Upgrade your fantasy smack talk. Pitts, I'm going to set the stage here as we get set for the very first edition of postseason Patty Pitts Power Rankings, brought to you by our friends at Trophy Smack, like I mentioned. And Pitts, hit the music.
What? Oh, there it is. Okay. your host with the most, Renaissance man who thinks he can, and champion here with your power rankings of the week. Number 10, Panthers. It's incredible that the Panthers found a way to win by not throwing a touchdown, but throwing 2 picks and still beating the Saints. Unbelievable. Sam Darnold, I love you so much. The Falcons at 9. The fact that the Falcons can end their season by saying, yeah, we beat Tom Brady and the Bucs without actually having to beat him is basically how every Falcons fan should feel. So I'm going to give you at the 9th spot. Texans. You said, fuck them picks. We want them wins. And you give Lovie Smith the best present to end the year. And giving the Bears the number 1 pick, helping my boy KB cash out a future. You got to make the list. I don't care what your record is. You're number 8 right now. Number 8 on power rankings. Number 7, Seahawks. I blame Baker Mayfield for the Lions, not you guys. Hell of a day out of you, and a season, to be honest. In fact, Geno Smith could potentially go to a playoff after this. Incredible. Number 6, Dolphins. You scored 11 points in a game to get into the playoffs. That's pretty impressive. And it was against the Jets. Like, you couldn't have scored legitimate points, like 28, 35, whatever. Number 5, Jaguars. Dougie P. I mean, honestly, round of applause, dude. You deserve all of it because you turned a dumpster fire into a Rolls Royce. Honestly, incredible what you're doing to the Jags. I hope you get a win in the playoffs. I really do. Commanders at 4 because you gave the Cowboys the best spanking I've ever seen. And you did it with Sam Howell. I was howling on my couch watching Cowboys just absolutely just lose. It's one of my favorite things to do now that I'm like a faux Eagles fan or like attached alliances. Number 3, we got the Niners. I'll say it every week. I mean, you could put Mr. Magoo, you could put Buzz Lightyear, you could put John Goodman at quarterback. I mean, the line.
John Goodman.
And this, you're still going to find a way to win football games with your defense. So, or you can just give it a CMC. So you're at 3. Eagles at 2. I mean, you did it. Congrats. You're in the playoffs again. You won the division. It took you a little bit longer, but that's what happens with injuries. And at number 1, the Bills, because obviously for the reason they lost their teammate in that injury and he was watching from the hospital bed. But not only that, you won for him, but you did another thing for Buffalo fans. You knocked the evil empire New England Patriots out of the playoffs. That's a win in itself. And as one of those evil empire followers of New England Patriots, I'm kind of bummed. So mission accomplished, Buffalo. You deserve the 1 spot for many reasons.
Recapping for the people, Pitts, give us the quick rundown 1 through 10 of the going into the postseason power rankings powered by Trophy Smack.
We got the Panthers at 10, Falcons at 9, Texans at 8, Seahawks at 7, Dolphins at 6, 5 are Jacksonville Dougie P Jaguars, Commanders at 4, Niners at 3, Eagles at 2, and the Buffalo Bills at the 1 spot.
And those are the Patty Pitts power rank powered by our friends at Trophy Smack. Had to fix that there for the layout for the people watching on the tubes. Great power rankings there. But Pitts, we are heading into baseball territories as the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers make a big trade as they shocked a lot of people. I'll say that. It brought a lot of eyeballs and a lot of what?
Eyeballs.
What?
Eyes.
What?
Balls of eye.
What?
Brought a lot of attention. It brought a lot of attention. Thank God.
Irises. What?
Iris.
Pupils. What?
I'm not a scientist. I'm a champion.
Eye sockets. What?
That is a hell of a... We got to print that. I'm not a scientist. I'm a champion.
Put it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt.
Get your merch. Oh man, this Phillies off-season headline brought to you by our friends at Kenwood Beer, like I mentioned earlier. Gregory Soto is a Philadelphia Philly. 5-player trade between the Phillies and Tigers. It's an interesting one for a lot of reasons. It's in terms of just baseball, removing emotion and all of that from the ordeal. Phenomenal trade for the Phillies. This is, putting your chips in the middle of the table like Dave Dombrowski is known to do in his career as a GM, as a president of baseball operations, trading from your surplus to go get superstar caliber players. Gregory Soto, a two-time All-Star with the Detroit Tigers, 30 saves last year out of that Tigers bullpen. He had a 3.28 ERA last season. He's a lefty, so, pairs well in the back of the bullpen. The Phillies are going to have 4 guys in the back of the bullpen that can nearly throw 100. Your back of your bullpen is going to look like this for the Phillies next year. Gregory Soto, Jose Alvarado, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Craig Kimbrell.
Not too bad.
That's a collection of relievers right there that looks fantastic optically. You got 2 lefties, 2 righties. You signed Matt Strahm this offseason as well. Sam Coonrod should be back. Andrew Bellotti is back. This Phillies bullpen is looking like one of the best bullpens of my lifetime, which is very exciting. And, you just watch Gregory Soto, Pitching Ninja videos. Shout out Pitching Ninja. It's unbelievable the way the movement on his pitches happens. This is the craziest part. He's 27 years old, and he's under team control pits through 2025.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So you have him under control for this year, 2024 and 2025. That's huge. You get Gregory Soto, who is the star of this trade, across the board. And the Phillies also receive infielder Cody Clemens from the Detroit Tigers. And if you think it sounds familiar, well, it is. He's a first baseman, hits lefty, throws righty, and he is the son of should-be Hall of Famer Roger Clemens.
My guy. That's my guy.
Last year,
the Rocket in the Pitts Cave.
Cody Clemens last year, 117 at-bats for the Tigers, hit 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, 145 batting average. I mean, not great, but, it's something that you send him to probably AAA to start the year, let him get adjusted. He's 6'1", he's 26, so, he's in that range of, you got to start figuring it out, bud.
Yeah.
He's coming to the Phillies as well with Gregory Soto in exchange for outfielder Matt Vierling, utility infielder, outfielder Nick Maton, and number 21 Phillies prospect catcher Donnie Sands will all be going to Detroit. Great pickups for the Tigers. Those 2 guys in Vierling and Nick Maton are going to get unbelievable playing time for the Tigers, which I couldn't be happier for them. Now, from a vibes type of trade, from a vibe standpoint.
Yeah, what are the vibes? How we feeling?
I'm very sad. I'm
Really?
very sad. Matt Vierling and Nick Maton are big vibes guys from this Phillies National League Championship, National League Champions roster.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of the daycare, as we have dubbed the young Phillies, which includes Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm. Brandon Marsh was a late addition to the daycare. Mickey Moniak was part of the daycare. And then it was Nick Maton and Matt Vierling. Those dudes are just fun. They're fun to root for. Matt Vierling did those weird, looks like they filmed him on a backlot car commercial type of thing. He's one of those dudes, so you love that.
That is
and
tough, yeah.
you gotta love the guy who just has the stones to act like it's 1968 and light up a cigarette in the clubhouse to celebrate a championship victory.
I mean,
that's Matt Vierling.
That is an ultimate vibes guy. It's just cool guy moves. It really is.
Not that we endorse smoking cigarettes, but it's
that's
who has the thought to do that?
I'm trying to dance around that without saying we.
I wanted to let everybody know we don't endorse the cigarette smoking, but it's who has the thought to do that in 2022?
That's what I'm saying. When you're a cool guy, you just I'm gonna light up. It's wow, that guy's cool.
And Nick Maton's nickname is the Wolf. And whenever we won, he would just run around the clubhouse and howl.
dude. Oh God, that is like a huge loss to the locker room. Like
Yeah, I'm bummed. I'm
that's like
bummed
when
about that.
that's like when the class clown is sick from school that day, and it's just quiet,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
We're
oh, we
losing a
got like,
lot of vibes guys this offseason. Like Gene Segura is now in Miami, which
yeah,
is
that's
like
weird.
breaks my heart. These two with Nick Maton, Matt Vierling. I'm trying to think of everybody else that potentially moved on this off. I mean, Noah Syndergaard was a vibes guy. He's now with the
Yeah.
Dodgers. Like, it sucks, but that's the game we play with baseball. I'm very happy for the careers of Nick Maton and Matt Vierling because those guys, with where the Tigers kind of are in their process of rebuild and everything, those are two like cornerstone pieces of players that are going to get so much playing time, and it's going to benefit them. They're going to become better players.
Mhm.
Detroit, if you're listening from the Detroit, Michigan area, you got two unbelievable dudes, like human being wise, coming to your team. I love both of them dearly. Will always love both of them dearly. I couldn't be happier, that they're getting an opportunity now to get extensive playing time. It just sucks to lose those kind of guys that you kind of attach yourself to, and that's what sucks about sports. You attach yourself to guys that you dub your dudes,
I know.
and then they just disappear, and it breaks your heart when they disappear.
It's something I had to learn, and I'm glad that I did learn that lesson covering college athletics because you're friends with them, but then you go back into work mode, and it's like, oh, it's a business at the end of the day. It's not about, oh, do I like this guy so much, but it's how can they contribute to the team. And unfortunately, vibes only get you so far with this, and I don't know, it is always sad to go. You have to just you always have to think in the back of your mind, like, it's a business at the end of the day. Makes the pain go away, sort of. But
Banners hang forever, and when they celebrate the 2022 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies in 10 years, I can't wait to see Matt Vierling and Nick Maton back at Citizens Bank Park.
absolutely.
In honor of this trade happening, because obviously Roger Clemens is one of your guys, and Nick Maton and Matt Vierling are two of my guys, and Gene Segura moving on, obviously.
Oh, you definitely one of your guys.
Yeah, Gene Segura is like cornerstone, my guy. I broke the news that he was coming to the Phillies back in 2018. I say we do a tier ranking.
Let's go.
Hashtag our guys. The
Our
our
guys.
guys tier ranking. So just like we
Okay.
did with our Nickelodeon character tier rankings, we get a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and each tier gets 3 guys. It can be from any sport. So reach from wherever you want. Should we just make it the 4 major sports?
Yeah, because if
Because I'll have a one-up with lacrosse. There is a hashtag my guy from lacrosse, but we'll keep it to the 4 major for everybody at home.
your lacrosse is my wrestling, so there you go.
We could do that.
Yeah,
So you can pull from wrestling. I'll pull from lacrosse if needed.
yeah. If needed.
If
Yeah.
needed. So we'll start with tier 3. Pitch your
Okay.
tier 3 hashtag my guys. You get 3 in tier 3.
Okay. Am I going first?
Should you go first or should I go first? I know you went first with the last one.
Yeah, you go first.
All right.
Host with the
My
most
tier
always
3.
with the guests. That was the guest
My
piece.
tier 3 hashtag my guys. Man, this is tough. I think number 1 that I'm gonna go with, it's a current Flyer, Travis Konechny. He wears number 11. He chirps and knows how to get under people's skin, and I love it. So I'm gonna go TK for my first in tier 3. My next in tier 3. This is a vintage one. It kicked off the process. Drew Holiday is one of my guys. I loved Drew Holiday. I have his autograph photo in my room. And when they traded him to get the pick that eventually ended up being Nerlens Noel, I was devastated. I was like, what the fuck is this team doing?
doing?
But I love Drew Holiday. He's just a great dude as well.
Mhm.
So Drew. And then number 3 in my tier 3 is going to go to. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pull my lacrosse player,
Okay, you're gonna use the lacrosse card. All right.
Kieran McCardle.
Okay.
Plays for the Water Dogs and the Albany Firewolves. Played for the New York Riptide last year. We have been championing on the Outside the Box podcast. Go listen, subscribe. Kieran McCardle for years. Finally had like an unbelievable season this past year in the PLL, where the only players to score 40 points or more in the regular season was Lyle Thompson and Kieran McCardle. Kieran ended up winning a championship with the Water Dogs in the PLL this year. He's been my guy. Love him. You know, and when you have a guy who's that good at lacrosse, but he's also a second grade teacher in Brooklyn, like,
Oh,
he's a stud. Love Kieran.
kids. Oh,
So
that's
Kieran's
great.
going to be in my tier 3 there.
All right,
So
okay.
Pitch, your tier 3, hashtag my guys.
My guys, I'm gonna go Boston first and go with Marcus Smart because
He is your
he's not my
guy.
favorite on the team. But if
You
I
love
hear
Marcus
any slander,
Smart.
but if I hear any slander about Marcus Smart, and this doesn't just go like Fred, I say it with my dad. My dad and I get in fights a lot about Marcus Smart. I will defend him in his honor because he is the heart and soul of the Celtics, whether people like it or not. So he's in their tier 3. Jared Goff going in at number 2. Do you
I was
know?
waiting for that one.
Do you know how often I am waving
How
the flag,
Goffton?
defending the wall? Goffton. I am just defending the wall of Jared Goff. I
Yeah.
drafted him. Everyone was taking quarterbacks in fantasy this year, and I waited, and I methodically waited until the last possible time I could wait, and I got him in like the 13th round. And what does he end up this year? A top 10 fantasy quarterback leading the Lions. Lions low key have the 4th or 5th best option. Or offense, I mean, not option, offense in the league. And it's mainly due to Jared Goff. So I will defend Jared Goff till I die. And then 3, I don't want to use a wrestling card yet because I'm not there. I'm going to go hockey, though. And I'm going to go with a childhood favorite who, another random athlete that Pitts loves for no reason, Paul Correa. I have a Paul Correa Mighty Ducks jersey. He was the first character I ever played with in NHL. I scored every goal I could. And then later found out he's a UMaine legend in college hockey. And after my time spending covering college hockey, have a little, love for it, whatnot. And just the fact that Paul Correa was Maine's dominant guy. Yeah, you got to go there.
So tier 2 now for me. I'm going to kick it off with baseball. Tier 2, number 1 is going to be Rhys Hoskins. Whenever anybody tries to slander Rhys Hoskins on Twitter, my spidey senses tingle. I sniff it out. I catch a whiff. Rhys is the glue of the Phillies locker room, of the clubhouse. He's an unbelievable player, unbelievable human, and everyone who was trying to say, "Oh, well, you should trade Rhys Hoskins at the trade deadline. We need to trade Rhys Hoskins." The Phillies don't get to the fucking postseason or the World Series, mind you, without Rhys Hoskins. We don't get that epic bat spike against the Braves without Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins is meant for Philadelphia. I hope he's here his entire career. I fucking love Rhys Hoskins. I love his wife. She's an unbelievable vibes, like, player wife as well, buying beers for fans during the World Series and the playoffs.
That
Rhys
was electric, by the way.
My guy.
That was electric.
Unbelievable. She said, "More beer, what?"
For the boys. The most
more beer.
What? We might have to get you a what shirt. I think we might have to get you a what shirt.
What?
It's such a good. That's incredible. Yes, Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins.
That's definitely
my
there.
guy. Next up on the my guy list. I'm trying to see if there's anybody that's on the shelf here that is a my guy. Oh, we're gonna stick with baseball. Aaron Nola, my guy. Aaron Nola's been my guy since the day he got called up to the big leagues. I went to Aaron Nola's major league debut and was out in Ashburn Alley watching him warm up and running out of the bullpen, and we were out there doing chants of "He's our savior" back in 2015.
Okay.
And then Aaron Nola ends up being the guy to punch our ticket to the postseason to end the drought. He's an ace. I love Aaron Nola. He's my guy. Tier 2, last one here. Trying to think.
A lot of good picks.
Who I could go with here.
You have a lot to choose from.
I do.
Although you got to think tier 2. That's the thing. That's what I'm thinking, is that there's the tier system. That's why I put the guys in 3, because like Goff at 3. Because if I have anyone over Goff, like I'm gonna defend them more. It's like kind of like are you in my Fab 5?
I know who my tier 2 is.
Okay.
He plays for your New England Patriots now.
Oh.
Green Goblin, Jalen Mills.
Okay, fair. You can have him back though, but like fair.
Jalen Mills, I defended like no other his entire career in an Eagles uniform. I was heartbroken when he left. I love Jalen Mills till the end. Jalen Mills is my guy.
Okay.
Your tier 2 list, Pitts.
I'll start off with this one because it's fitting, as Mason Poop Crosby hits the field goal crossbar, misses the field goal, Lions going back on offense. Thank God. Another Lions guy, and he's actually the reason I am a Lions fan to this day. It is Megatron, Calvin Johnson. It is not Matt Stafford. I actually used to hate Matt Stafford because I thought he was only just a cannon arm. As we grow older, we learn more things about people and things change. But Calvin Johnson got me into being a Lions fan because of he was the greatest football player I've ever seen, next to the dude who led me to 6 Super Bowls. He's he is exactly what every coach at every level wishes they had at a pass catcher. And not only that, he's an amazing dude and got screwed too. The Lions screwed him by asking for that money back for his retirement. And I want them to reconcile their differences, because if they do that, another dynasty. We got a dynasty brewing in the Motor City. Just saying. Bring him into the front office, maybe a coach. Who knows? I'm just saying.
I want everybody at home to know, too, our list. This is in honor of this trade. So Gene Segura, Nick Maton, and Matt Vierling and Roger Clemens are not on our list. It is like they are the ethos of this list.
Yes, the essence of it. Number 2, I'm going with a wrestler, but because he's my guy. I grew up watching him, and I've now listened to him. Has his own podcast now, Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. My buddy hosts it, but I've learned so much about him. I've learned about the industry a lot more. And not only that, why he's really my guy is after the tragedy with his brother of the DUI and whatnot, I reached out and, I said, I love the pod. You've helped me so much with my wrestling knowledge and, getting back into it. And he responded back to me through, John, and he was like, tell Pat that was the nicest message and all that. So if I can, have that connection already, and he reads my questions, I think every time I respond on the show, and I ask good questions. That's the thing. Champion always asks good questions. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time that Matt Hardy and I get into the Yard of Streams for an interview. And when that is, I mean, it's just going to be a couple of guys chatting about the business.
Just being dudes.
One of my guys being dudes. So that's
You got two in
two.
tier 2. You got one more for your tier 2.
I Megatron. I use Hardy. I already have my tier 1 like ready to go.
Same.
So I'm trying to. All right, this is ridiculous, but I don't care. It's SpongeBob SquarePants. He is my fucking guy. All right, I don't care that
I
he's.
do have to say, time out. I do have to say, we said 4 major sports and then our sport niche.
I'm sorry. You're right. My bad. I lost track. I got thought. I'll go back.
I did think of that way though, so
Okay,
you're not
all
alone.
right.
But
Okay, so then no Pablo Sanchez. So that is my other guy. For major.
I think I know one of your tier 1s, but
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go Poppy. I'm gonna go David Ortiz because my team should be in tier 1, obviously, but I mean, just the dude is the baseball equivalent to Tom Brady in my life. I mean, anytime you need a clutch moment, David Ortiz was there. And the amount of times I've rewatched him hitting a home run into the Red Sox bullpen and Joe Buck saying, we'll see you later on tonight is at the umpteenth.
Yankees lose.
And that, just hearing his voice, it's like comment.
He's great on TV too.
He's amazing on television. He's an entertainer. He's incredible. So yeah, I'm putting Poppy there.
All right, my tier 1. Number 1, Brian Dawkins. He's the reason I became an Eagles fan, like, of knowledge, and I love Brian Dawkins with my whole heart. He's the reason I played football for a year. Brian Dawkins has always been my guy. Number 2, Jimmy Rollins. He is one of my favorite athletes ever. Wore my number. And like, I love Jimmy. Like, he is the ethos of my inner child to this day. I love Jimmy Rollins. And then my next tier 1 is it's Joel Embiid.
Okay, good.
It's Joel.
Right, I like that answer.
I went back and forth between him and BDN, Big Dick Nick, but everybody knows Big Dick Nick is Philadelphia's guy. Joel Embiid, though, the amount of times we've had to defend Joel, from when we didn't even. Joel Embiid is such a fascinating player because, like, we didn't even know if he was going to be able to play. And then the moment he stepped on the court for the very first time, you knew something was, like, special about him. And then he's turned into just this megastar, loves the city of Philadelphia, just wants nothing more than to win here. The amount of times we've had to defend him against the fucking, spreadsheet nerds about the MVP. Joel Embiid is just forever my guy. Did Jamal Williams just score that touchdown?
You did. Did it hit?
Let's ride. That was the last thing I needed.
What did I say?
Let's go. Let's have a day.
What did I say? What did I say?
You said, let it ride. We ride.
The champ is right. Listen to the champ.
Okay, let's ride.
When a champion speaks, you listen.
We ride.
For that
let's go. Shout out
to
you.
I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
For everybody at home or just listening, I just had another parlay hit. I had a big gambling day. So there's my tier 1. Brian Dawkins, Jimmy Rollins, Joel Embiid. Pitch, your tier 1. I think I know one of them, but let's see if I'm right or not.
Okay, so number 1 probably is the easiest. He's the Lord and Savior of every masshole ever, Tom Brady. I mean, if you go on the street and ask who God is, I'm going to say like 60% of people in Boston would say Tom Brady. He is the man that is the reason I'm a Patriots fan, the reason that I am a hard worker next to my dad. I mean, the dude is just everything you could want out of a role model, minus the relationship advice. And it's just, I just couldn't ask for a better person to guide me through my childhood sports years in that. Was that who you thought?
No.
Okay, well, number 2, we'll try again. He is Mr. Pedro himself, Pedro Martinez.
Not who I was thinking either.
Pedro Martinez is right now the number 1 favorite Boston sports athlete over Tom Brady because Pedro he left in not
He's
a
both of
heartbreaking
our
way.
guys.
And he's both
Like,
our
he
guys.
played for both of our teams.
It's a different setting. And what he did for the Sox,
He pitched in the World Series for both of our teams.
that's incredible. That is really incredible. And the fact that he was like Pedro and Brady, I would say both have that killer instinct in them. I would say with their position. With Pedro, you got that fun side, like the goofy, like the this type of thing with him and Manny. Like that's how I would be in any sport I was in. I just wanted to be that fun guy. Like when it's go time, Pitts is in a mode, but like on the bench, I want everyone having a smile on their face, and that's what Pedro did too. And I mean, also the fact that what he did in the All-Star game at Fenway in '99. I don't think will ever be replicated. So that moment too. And then number 3, if you smell what Patty Pitts is cooking with number 3, it is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That was not who I was thinking either.
Really interesting. No, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the absolute reason why I am the biggest wrestling fan to this day. I got little inside personal story here in the underground. When I was born, my parents had no like real room for me. Obviously, they didn't really think I was coming. And so my brother got moved down to the basement where I am, and we had a pull-out couch, and he lived down there. So I would hang out there, and he watched wrestling. So the first time I ever watched wrestling was with him, and The Rock came out, and my eyes are just glued. Like, who is this guy? Like, he is electric, all this. And then I found a videotape, a VHS for, I know a lot of our listeners probably don't know what a goddamn VHS is, but I watched that thing till it like the film came out of this Rock tape where it was just him going through Miami, kind of going on the road doing matches from that year, him throwing out the first pitch at a Pirates game.
Do you watch Young Rock?
It was incredible. Huh?
Do you watch Young Rock?
I haven't because I just haven't thought of it yet, but I
know one of the writers on the show.
Really?
Yeah, he hosts the Rights to Ricky Sanchez Sixers podcast.
Oh,
he's a TV writer. Yeah.
Oh shit! See, I like the premise of the show, and I would like it from the entertainment standpoint of that element. Even though I know like all his whole story at this point, but The Rock is like the reason why I just obviously wrestling, but he's inspired a lot of Pittsisms, we'll say. And the dude is just an absolute electric factory. He does everything. The man does everything.
I'm going to throw an honorable mention for each of us. One just popped in my head now that, like, I don't know why I didn't mention it, but it's more of a podcast our guy. It's obviously Nick Castellanos.
Oh, my God, dude.
Like, Nicky C is our guy.
He was the greatest incidental sports call ever.
Like, the podcast our guys... Obviously, Nick Castellanos, his mom listens to the pod. Brother listens and follows the pod. Shout out to Nicky C. Mike Scott, obviously.
Mike Scott, the boy.
Our guy. Mike Scott actually is going to replace Drew Holiday.
Who did you think was my guess? That's what I wanted.
And then the other my guy for the pod is, we have Jamil Demby, Isaiah Pacheco, and Will Parks. Shout out to the guys. And Cole Irvin. Shout out to the guys. My guy that I thought you were going to put in any of your tiers was Dan Bailey.
Dan Bailey has fallen off from grace real bad in the Pitt's backyard against Tree. I don't know what it is, but he really let me down because he was, when at this peak, the greatest kicker of all time. And then he just like is not that good. And also the amount of times I tweet at him, and I know this man does not use Twitter and is not getting boatloads of messages from fans. So it's kind of like a stand thing where it's like, "Dear Dan, I wrote to you, but still ain't calling," like type of thing where I'm not going that extreme, but we're ghosting you.
That's so funny. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Dan Bailey. That was the one.
I still have. It is the only one of the few good things from my last relationship is she gave me a Dan Bailey Vikings jersey for Christmas, which that might have been the peak of the relationship.
That might be the only one in existence.
She looked at me and was like, "Do you know how like not common this is? I'm like, yeah, have you met me? Like, of course you're gonna get me a jersey of some player you've never heard of. And the funny thing, she was like, what is your, my parents are asking, what do you get Pat? And she's like, oh, a Dan Bailey jersey. And her parents like, what? Like that you just said a random name to me. Like, incredible. But yeah,
I also have a fun question too. Who do you think is a future hashtag your guy?
Future my guy.
Like has the potential to reach that echelon? I think Matt Strom has that potential for me.
Okay. I'm shocked I didn't put Brashad Perryman in there, but
yeah, that too.
He will.
That's your honorable mention.
That's an honorable mention, tier 3 maybe. Just because like he literally ghosted himself. Like I haven't seen anything of him as of late. But who is a future my guy? Honestly, I kind of want to. I'm gonna go Hutch, Aiden Hutchinson, because I said for years that the Lions are a pass rusher away from making an impact in the league.
He has said that since I've known him, ladies and gentlemen.
And he could be it. I don't want to jump the shark and say he is after a season, but string along 2-3 good years, like 10 plus, maybe 9 on a bad year, but the defense played well as a whole. He could be there. He could absolutely be there for me. So Hutch, I'm gonna go Hutch.
So there it is. That's the tier talking of our hashtag our guys, which they ebb and flow. They can change, and obviously we have podcast our guys, which are the Mike Scotts, the Nick Castellanos, the Cole Irvins, those guys. But from a baseball standpoint, Matt and I will dive more into this trade because I obviously have to get his perspective on Wednesday of everything with that. So we'll talk more about this Gregory Soto trade, what it means for the Phils then as well. But Patty Pitts, it is the NFL playoffs. And there's some things brewing underground. Pretty soon.
Are you announcing it?
I'm not announcing it fully.
Okay.
Because we'll have a formal announcement, but
okay.
Obviously we have tried. We have tried time and time again with fantasy football at this company, and it just hasn't worked. And when something doesn't work, you have to move on from it.
Yeah, move on.
But we think there's something that will work, that a lot of us do. And there's some new projects in the works, and I'm excited for them because we're right around the corner from getting ready to soft launch our new show.
We're getting right around the corner. I'm excited to get back in the hosting game in the underground. I've gone to the Gillette and practiced there a little bit with the champ obviously here. But now I'm bringing it back into the underground, and we're going to get things going where I'm not just, in addition, a guest on the show, but I can be the host with the most on the show. So we'll be on the lookout. I'm excited.
We'll have a formal announcement in a week or so, I would say. But make sure you're following Pitts on Twitter because you're going to see his type of content coming on the Twitter machine. And again, for the people that are real ones, make sure you let us know in the comment section if you want us to make a YouTube channel specifically for our card openings. Because obviously Pitts and I open a shit ton of cards together. DJ and I open a shit ton of PLL cards together. We always make it a tradition for our Home Run Derby live stream extravaganza to open up baseball cards then. So, we're opening a lot of cards lately. And,
getting a lot of cards.
Let us know if you want a separate channel for that, where this stays the podcast and original content channel, and then the fun card openings go on a separate channel. 2023 is going to be big time, but Pitts, what are your excitement levels as we inch closer to your new show?
I'm excited. I'm excited because for a while, felt like, I think we've talked about it, that you feel like you're stuck in one way and have to do things a certain way. And, after experimenting and doing stuff on the side and the year that's been, realizing that there are no wheels. There are no training wheels. There's no train on the tracks. It's just go down your own path, see what works, see what doesn't, and be yourself. I think it's the one thing I've learned in this entire year in 2022 is when you are your true self, the best things in life happen. And that's the motto and mentality I'm leading forward and hoping to bring into the new year.
Patty Proverbs over here.
Dude, I mean, I am a words guy. I'm not a numbers guy.
Big words guy.
I'm a big words guy.
Yeah, I'm excited for your new show. We've had some new additions to the network as of late. Obviously, the Glue Guys, college basketball ramping up. Everybody out there too. I just want to put this out there for the people because I did it. I want you to do it. Don't get stuck at work on the Thursday of the college basketball NCAA March Madness tournament. March 16th is the Thursday. March 17th is the Friday. Treat yourself. Take off work. Put it in now so that way when it rolls around, you get a nice little reminder 2 months from now that you're off for that first weekend of March Madness. You're not stuck in the cubes. You're not stuck at your retail job. Take off and enjoy March Madness. Putting it out there for the people now. Public service announcement. Take off March 16th and 17th.
Do it.
The Glue Guys, though, they are part of the network now. Happy to have Big Tom back. And we'll have your new show in 2023. We got an original content series coming in 2023. We got the Jamil Demby documentary continuing filming in 2023. And obviously you got our staples of shows. Underground Sports Philadelphia, Outside the Box, Get in the Hole, Streamer Season, and Top Bins. And then, of course, our football shows, Eagles Enemies, which will go into playoff mode, and the Dan Russo Show as well. So very excited for just the direction we're heading in 2023. I think we've got a nice niche across the board. We're covering a lot of topics.
Yeah.
Obviously not part of the network per se, but you've got your wrestling show as well.
Yeah, that's really getting
things.
good. That's really getting good. I will give a little promotion to that because Sarah and I have been doing a lot of work with that on the side and trying that. We've been going live on her YouTube and then clipping some shows, some clips from it that we think are the most newsworthy and whatnot, and posted on the YouTube. And then I go live on my Twitter, after Raw and SmackDown. And then the Royal Rumble's coming up, Kyle. And I know you like to bet, and I know you like to throw money. And I know we like to do that in the underground. And I'm doing a Rumble pool where you get numbers. And whatever person comes out at your number, that's what you got for the match. And then if they win, you take the pot. And we did in college. I haven't done it in
What's the buy-in?
It's like $5-10. We keep it cheap. We keep it cheap because I don't care about the money. I care about the nonsense that ensues in the ring.
I might be in.
I'm gonna get it asking around. People will see who's in and who's not. So
there's that. Make sure you guys are following us though across social media at Underground PHI. Follow all of our brands. It does big time for us. We're growing. The live tweeting of events is going to continue happening. Hopefully across the board. I gotta call out Stephen McAvoy. We gotta be live tweeting these tournaments.
I know.
So we can grow.
Watching one dude. I went upstairs. He's watching Century.
The old Century tournament champions.
Nice.
Shout out Jake Dipple coming on the show for the first time this week. Very excited for that. But make sure you guys are following us at Underground PHI. Follow Pitts at Pat_Pitts. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. And obviously, make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's where you get full video episodes of the pod. Subscribe. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Comment down below your list of hashtag my guys. Comment down below your thoughts on the Birds clinching the postseason, the 1 seed. Are we going to the Super Bowl? Shout out to all the Delca dads out there. Let's go celebrate. Let's have a good-ass victory Monday. And make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel, okay? That's what we got to do around here. We got to subscribe to the YouTubes. And, it's downtown A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts going to bring us to the promised land. Make sure you guys get your merch as well. PHI Apparel Company. Go to phiapparel.co. Use code underground for 10% off. Hoodies now available. They are fucking sweet. Like, I can't even tell you guys. Like, I'm ordering so many of these hoodies because they are just gorgeous. That streamer season one,
Yeah,
money.
I'm waiting on that paycheck from
That
the
underground one, money. Pitts'
like
new
the
show
hoodie
gonna
right
have hoodies and shirts soon. Money. So go get your merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. So go get your merch. And also, big shout out to our sponsors. Main Auto LLC, Ducharme's Pro Foot, no longer with us, unfortunately, but I would love to buy that building. But some things in there already. But Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. But this has been episode number 497, the big 500 coming up soon.
It is coming up.
Of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Patty Pitts, KB, it's Go Birds.
Go Birds.
And we'll catch you guys Wednesday night live and on Thursday on podcast form. But until then, we are signing off. Peace.